We're back on Get Up, and a little football news to sprinkle in this morning. Last week, the Jets fired their general manager, Mike Maccagnan, named their coach, Adam Gase, as the interim GM. Reports surfaced that Gase, who was hired in January, thought the Jets had overpaid for Le'Veon Bell this offseason. So now that Gase is the interim GM, Bell's long-term status in New York feels a little bit uncertain. That brings us to our required reading from ESPN.com this morning. Rich Cimini, who has covered the Jets for about 3 decades, wrote, quote, Le'Veon Bell isn't going anywhere in 2019 because he already has been paid $11 million in bonuses with another $3 million in guarantees on the way. But what about 2020? He has $13 million in guarantees, including a $2 million roster bonus on March 15th. But a one and done isn't beyond the realm of possibility. Hey, the New York Giants traded Odell Beckham Jr. only 1 year into a mega deal, suggesting it's not impossible with the Jets as well. For this, as I shake my head, I bring in ESPN's NFL analyst, Louis Riddick. Louis, obviously a lot can happen in a year, but if what we are led to believe is true, that Gase thought they were overpaying for Le'Veon Bell in the first place, could you see a scenario where a year from now he's on a different team altogether?
Without a doubt, Greeny. Of course you can see that because, look, all indications are, and we're not sitting there in the rooms up there when him and Mike Maccagnan were discussing these people, and we're not inside of Adam Gase's head, but it's easy for coaches, it's easy for people who survive this kind of shakeup to, as the shakeup is happening, to distance themselves from certain transactions that they don't fundamentally believe in. And it just sounds like this is one where Adam didn't fundamentally believe in the value that Mike had attached to Le'Veon Bell. He just feels as though that position is not one that warrants that kind of money. So, I mean, if he's the guy who survives this situation after the guy who hired him is sent out the door, why wouldn't he be allowed to, after a year, given the cap ramifications and the cash ramifications being one where the owner says, okay, that's fine. If you want to get rid of him, you can, since this is your program. Why wouldn't that be, in the realm of possibility? I would not blink an eye if Le'Veon Bell was on a different team in 2020. Would not bat an eye.
No, nor would I. Yet there are so many different ways to look at this because there were ramifications to the Jets signing Le'Veon Bell above and beyond what his production on the football field is, and the way that it sort of gave a shot in the arm to the organization, to the fan base, maybe to the young quarterback, a signal of greater things. And that's the kind of thing that if everyone was on the same page, they would all understand. So isn't this, in fact, in and of itself, another indication of how you have sort of competing interests within the organization that left them where they are right now?
There's no question. Look, you can never, succeed in spite of this kind of thing. You can't. It's impossible, because what will happen is you'll wind up just ripping down the organization inside out and starting over from scratch over and over and over again. There's no doubt that there are many benefits to having Le'Veon Bell on your football team on the football field. There's just no question about that. And as you alluded to, with a young quarterback who doesn't have a lot of outside perimeter weapons at his disposal that could really take the top off of a defense, so to speak. You need those guys who can kind of help you execute a New England style of attack, meaning a running back centric attack, a slot receiver centric attack like you have with Jamison Crowder being there. So this is a guy who's very, very important to your team, very, very important for you to be on the same page as far as how you're going to use him, how you're going to make him feel, how you're going to make him feel wanted, how you're going to make him feel as though he is a part of the future. To have all this now in question, I mean, we don't know what's going on between Adam and Le'Veon as far as their communication right now. To have this now thrown into question, it's potentially another burned season, another wasted season, to where, again, in 2020, you're selling hope again about, now, this time we have the program that we want. This time we're all on the same page, depending upon who the general manager is going to be at that time. And then you hear all the different reports about that part of it. There's just so many more questions than answers in New York, and I'm sure as a Jet fan, yourself, you're frustrated, and then the greater New York Jets fan base is sitting there going, why? Why does this continue to happen?
I mean, there is one constant in all of this, and the answer to why is the one person, or at least in this case, the family, that remains the people running the organization through all of these different changes. You can change around all the different chess pieces, but at the end of the day, it's the people who own the board that continuously put the wrong pieces in the wrong places. That's the reason why it keeps happening. Louis, you're the best. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. We'll check in with you as the events dictate, and Shefty will be with us for the next hour. More football conversation then as well. In the meantime, back to basketball and back to the Warriors, who took a commanding 3-0 lead in the Western Conference Finals Saturday against Portland. And Draymond Green has been huge. They've not missed a beat since the absence of Kevin Durant, and Draymond has been a huge factor. Triple-double in Game 3, 20 points, 13 boards, 12 assists. Here's his coach, Steve Kerr, on the performance of Draymond Green.
I don't even know what to say about Draymond. I mean, he was like a wrecking ball out there. He was just destroying everything in his path. The pace that he was generating was incredible, and it just seemed like he never got tired.
Listen, this is what Draymond Green, this is how he made himself into a star. This is what this team looked like before Kevin Durant got there and how he made himself into an all-star. Look at his numbers. He has 28 triple-doubles in his career, including the playoffs, and Golden State has won 27 of those games. So, Jay Will, give us a closer look as we come over here at just what Draymond is doing and why it is so effective.
Well, in Game 3, he had 20, 13 rebounds and 12 assists, okay? And he's great. He's actually brilliant, Greeny, at making reads. So you're going to see Draymond, he's going to start off down at this portion of the court, okay? As we break down this little play, you're going to see him come up in this action. And once again, this little DHO right here. And now look at this play develops. This is going to be Clay setting the screen. And this is CJ McCollum, this is Dame. They're going to switch, okay? Clay recognizes the switch. Clay's going to dive right down to the low block. Look at when Steph comes off this. He's going to come up and he's going to clear out to the other side. And then you're going to see the vision of Draymond right over the top, right away, Greeny, looking for this mismatch, okay? You have this play right here. This is 6'2", guarding 6'7". All right? He recognizes it, goes right to it right away, shot right over the top. Easy play, easy read. Once again, Draymond Green as a point forward, getting the rebound, spacing out. Now, as the play breaks down, look how they flare out. This is what's beautiful about this team, okay? Your first thing you taught when you play basketball, you get back, you protect the paint. That's the most important part, but not the way you play against Golden State defensively because they have three-point shooters. So let's talk about this, Green, real quick. Last 10 games, okay? Yeah. You have Clay. 44% from the three-point line. You have Steph, 50% from the three-point line. Look at how the players, you have to go out and guard them. Steph Curry stays there. Dame stays there. He has a decision to make. Now, Draymond sees this, but watch the vision, though. He has so many options, Greeny. He can have Steph out here for a three if he helps. He can have Clay here for a three if he helps. Or he can have Andre Iguodala running right down to this spot here. Makes the right play. Boom. Slam dunk, right? Those easy reads that he makes all the time. Now, once again, here's the best, okay? You're going to see Maurice Harkless. He has the ball. He's defending Draymond Green right here. He's paying attention to this action down here. All right? He's paying attention. You see his head turn. His head's turned, paying attention to this down here again. What's happening with this action? Draymond sees it too, but he gambles. Look which way he gambles. He gambles with the right hand. Draymond just makes another great read, recognizing that all the action is happening here, recognizing that this player is locking in, staying home here. Opens up a clear lane to the basket for an easy left-hand finish. Draymond's ability to be the quarterback with this team, to make those reads all the time, to see the progressions of the offense is what makes him absolutely brilliant.
He is able to facilitate the offense. They run the offense through Draymond Green, which they do not do when Kevin Durant is on the floor. And in my opinion, and this is why I continue to say this, and I don't want anyone to misread what I'm saying. I'm not trying to knock Kevin Durant. He is the best player right now in the world. But Draymond Green is an entirely different player when KD is not on the floor because he facilitates the offense, and that's what makes him so special. So let me get RJ in here because I want to ask you this question, because I saw some quotes attributed to Draymond over the weekend where he said that he sort of did some self-reflection and recognized he was too busy complaining to the referees and worrying about other things, and that's why he's playing better.
It's about time he did some self-reflection.
Well, he said it, but to me it's not about that. It's about the fact that he's now doing the things because KD is not there. They are once again utilizing all of these skills that Draymond has that really get pushed to the background when KD is out there. And this is how he became an all-star in the NBA.
Well, yeah, and it's funny that Draymond would say this because everybody else has been saying this, but without Kevin Durant, you realize you have no room for error, right? Like, you have to play great. You got to be focused. You can't be focused on the officials and this and all this other stuff going on. Draymond has to just play high-level basketball. And if you're worried about anything else other than that, you're not going to be helping your team the way you should.
And also, I can make this case, Greeny. Okay, because Kevin Durant's on the court, Draymond plays a different way. There's nobody stopping Draymond Green from playing this way when KD is on the court as well.
That's actually completely false.
That's not false.
I agree with you.
That's completely false.
Okay.
And I will show you an example later. I am so glad you set up. That might be the best pass and best assist you've ever had.
These two guys fight. But I should just, everyone has a little like peek behind the curtain. The fighting between the two of them is just unbelievable. I need to get Thibodeau in here just to separate them
Draymond naturally defers to Kevin. And granted, they've had fights before, okay?
Okay.
So all I'm saying, can you allow me to finish and stop just always trying to argue with somebody? So what I'm saying is Draymond, if KD comes back, Draymond can still play that way, but still you're going to need KD to isolate down the stretch.
Yeah,
you're going to need isolate KD out the stretch.
But you just said that he defers and that no one's stopping Draymond from doing what Draymond's doing. I'm going to show you an example of Draymond playing this way, then Kevin Durant and an issue that was had, and then now Draymond playing
Is that
just
an
like
indictment on Draymond or is that an indictment on Steve Kerr, the head coach? If that's the best way to
so now you're blaming Steve Kerr?
I'm not blaming anybody.
It's an indictment on someone. If you're indicting someone, someone's getting in trouble.
Well, this is so much fun. I'm giving everyone just a sneak peek as to which camera we have here. What a delight it is just to be working with the two of these guys every single day. I will let them go at this as we go, but I have to take a short break. And as we continue, I'll remind you that Golden State is going for the sweep tonight against Portland. It's on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. Game 4 tonight, 9 Eastern. Coverage starts at 8 with NBA Countdown. It's all streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch no matter where you may be. Coming up, for a guy who faces countless challenges on the football field, as Peyton Manning always did, what would be his toughest test yet?
Can't say that he does.
Shefty has the answer, and these two, I have no doubt, will continue to argue as our morning goes. Tibbs, go break these guys up, make them run laps.